Welcome to the Reporting Tools webinar. What we're looking at today is some of the reporting features in Mercury. We'll cover mainly the reporting tab here, the reports available in the dashboard, and some of the reports you can do on CRM data as well. Starting on the dashboard, what you'll see here are the two most common or most useful reports. What you'll see in the business summary is a report on your lead sources that have come through in the last 60 days based on the current status. 5 of the leads that have come through in the last 60 days are still in the lead status, they haven't gone anywhere. One of them has moved on to the status unconditional, one of them is an upfront valuation ordered, and so on. There's a number of other reports available in the drop down here. They're pretty self-explanatory. You can take a look at this with your own data and see what they come up with. The settlement report here just shows a breakdown of the dollar value of each opportunity that you have. So for November, we have $780,000 worth of settlements recorded in your CRM. And it shows a breakdown of every month as you go. If you hover over it, you'll see it actually shows an exact figure there. So you can change the date range as well, so if you want to just report on sort of 5 months there, you can do that as well. So moving on to the reports tab, what you'll see are 3 main reporting functions here. We've got settlement reports, business statistics, and lead source. Starting with the settlement report, what you'll see by default is a breakdown of your settlements on a per month basis. Running down here, you'll see we're reporting on home loans. You can also change this to all opportunity types or specify which opportunity types you're looking at. Maybe you want to report on plant and equipment. Obviously, we don't have any data on that one in our webinar account. So we'll pop back to home loans. You can sort by loan writers specifically. So if we select Joe Webinar here, we'll only be seeing the opportunities that are assigned to Joe Webinar himself. And you can filter a date range, so from, say, February 2014 through to September. And we're going to see just a summary of only that date range there. You can group by month, which is the default. You can also group by loan writer, virtual branch, lead source, or lender. So running through the report itself, we'll go back to the default here. What you're actually seeing here is a breakdown of the expected settlement for February. This figure here is based on the numbers that you've entered into an opportunity. So you can actually double click on the month and it breaks it down into exactly what that figure is made up of. So you'll see each of these here is a single listing of an opportunity. This is the loan amount we've entered into the opportunity, the lender, and we've actually put a settlement date into these. Once it has a settlement date, that's when it actually appears in the settlement report. And you'll see there's a expected amount and a confirmed amount. Now the confirmed amount here is based on this tick box here. So you might put a settlement date in, and as the loan progresses, you'll say, okay, this date has actually been confirmed by the lender. And what you'll do is put a tick box inside the opportunity, right here next to the settlement date, and that carries through to the reporting, as you can see here. So in the report, the expected is a lot more than the confirmed, and that is simply because we haven't confirmed all of the opportunities as settled. Now the estimated upfront commission is based on the expected settlement, and it's calculated using this rate here, which is actually editable. So if we change this rate here and click on refresh, you'll see the estimated upfront actually changes as well. The number field here shows you how many opportunities make up this data. So there's 3 opportunities in February that have a settlement date, and this is just the average. So this figure here is the total expected upfront divided by 3. So this data can also be displayed as a chart, what this chart shows you is the expected volume for each month and the confirmed volume. So what you'd want to see is the expected volume go as high as possible and the confirmed volume follow very close, if not matching, the expected. And you can actually export this data as well to an Excel spreadsheet. If you click on export here, it'll download the spreadsheet. You can open it with Excel and you'll see a list of basically what you see in the report. So the month, the expected volume, confirmed volume, and number of deals. And if I've changed the report to show the expected volumes based on loan writer, it'll also export the same data through to Excel based on the loan writer here. So the next thing we'll look at is the business statistics. This is probably the most useful reporting that you'll have in Mercury. You can report on basically anything. What it does is it allows you to report on the status that opportunities have gone through and a date range that they've passed through that status. So to illustrate how we can use this report, I'll put an example forward. Say we're wanting to report on some of the lead sources that we're using. We want to know if the lead sources are actually generating loans that go on through to settlement and what's happening with those lead sources. So what we'll do is we're filtering for home loans here. We want to report on all of the loan writers, and the one we're wanting to select here is the specific lead source, AAA accountants. So what we're seeing here are all of the opportunities that have come from AAA accountants in the last 12 months. And we can see what status each opportunity is currently in. It's a bit like the report on the dashboard. We'll see that 2 of them in the last 12 months are still in lead. One of them's gone through to conditional, one of them's been approved, and so on. Now some of these reports can be quite complicated to understand, and if you ever get stuck looking at a report, just look down to the report description here and it actually explains to you using words what you're seeing. So what I'm seeing are home loans with a lead source of AAA accountants which touched the status of lead between these 2 dates. So what that means is at any time if an opportunity has been assigned to the lead status, even if it was actually created before these dates, if someone's changed it to the status lead within those 2 dates, it'll appear in this report. And what we've done is we've grouped by the current status. You can also group by another option, say by lender, and that will give you a breakdown of which lenders these clients are using. So you can also see this data broken down into a column chart and the source data as well, so exactly which opportunities are making up this data. So you can launch a report on this as well by clicking here. There's 2 different types for this one. We'll first show you Excel, and this shows you quite a few more details about the opportunities themselves. The other report option is to open it in Word. So we'll click on here, choose Word instead, and we'll edit with Word to show you exactly what you'll get. So forgive the formatting here, it looks like the graph has actually been pushed down a bit due to the size of the logo, but basically what you'll see is the date, the report you're looking at, and a description of exactly what you're seeing, and then it'll show you the graph itself. Obviously it probably won't be cut off like this, but you'll see a graph that you see in Mercury along with just a brief overview of the source data. Moving on, we'll have a look at the lead source data. We've already had quite an in-depth look at what is coming through for AAA accountants. This report sort of gives you a bit more details on that. So here you can actually enter a cost next to that lead, the amount that you've paid them. If we double click here, you can edit these fields. So say we've actually to this date paid AAA accountants $500 for their leads. We can see that in total we've had 12 leads, and they've cost us $42 per lead. It shows the total value of all of the leads and the average value. But what's really interesting to note is that only 3 of the leads so far have actually gone on to settlement. So if we're wanting to know the cost per lead of settled loans, it's actually $167. So it's very useful to find out if you're actually getting your money's worth with the leads that are coming through from certain lead sources. The last thing to look at on the reporting tab is the custom reports. So what this has by default is 4 main documents here that are available to every Mercury user. They are pretty self-explanatory. What you can do is click on download report and it will download you a list of what it says in the description here. So this one's handy if you want to see any contacts you have in your CRM that might have duplicate emails. It's a good way to weed out the duplications there. You can also search for duplicate people, and that just goes by the first and last name instead of email address. And here there's a list of my Intel addresses and my Intel addresses for virtual branches, and that would be more for people that are using my marketing. You may have noticed we skipped the database activity section here. There's actually a separate webinar that covers this. It's quite an extensive webinar as well, so it's split off into another one. You can find it in the wiki just by searching for database activity webinar. The last thing we'll look at here is the CRM tab. There's a number of reports you can do here as well to export spreadsheets and also filter your data in the CRM. The first one I'll demonstrate is just the birthday filter here. You can click on add search filter by clicking on the green plus or add filter here, and it'll add this field here which lets you search for a number of things. First one is birthday. You can select a date range here and search for all your clients that have a birthday between this date range. By default it's about a week in advance, so these are all of my clients that have a birthday coming up. Might be handy to know if we want to send out a birthday SMS or email and just say happy birthday. On this drop down there's a number of different things that you can search for, so it's really good to filter through a large client database. You can search by related opportunities, so if you want to find out all of your clients that have ever done a loan with a specific lender, you can do that just by selecting on this drop down here. So all of these clients here have had an opportunity with ANZ listed as the lender. So it's very useful to just have a look and see what the filters are capable of. There's a similar list of filters for home loans which lets you sort them as well. So this will let you sort by a number of things, by lender as well here. You can sort by lead source, settlement date, that's just a date range again. And at any time with the results that you have on your screen, you can click on export to Excel, either within the people or the home loans section, and select and export all of your data to an Excel spreadsheet. If you have any questions about reports or you're wanting to generate a report and you're not sure how, just submit a help desk ticket and we'll go over some options with you. It's more than likely that you will actually be able to generate the report in the system. If not, we are able to do custom reports in some cases. Otherwise, we'll give you an option of maybe an alternative report that might suit your needs and let you get the data that you're after. So that's it for the reporting webinar. Thanks for watching.